I'd like to warmly welcome you and to say how very much we appreciate your delegation and to thank you for the very warm welcome I received when I visited Germany in January this year. I believe that that visit has raised the level of cooperation between Ghana and Germany to an even higher height. Since my return from Germany, we've received several visits and we've been cooperating on many issues. One of the issues we discussed with Chancellor Merkel was our agreement to send a letter to the UN Secretary General signed by Chancellor Merkel, the Norwegian Prime Minister, and myself to suggest the setting up of an international panel of eminent persons to investigate the world's international crisis response in terms of matters to do with health, like we had with the Ebola crisis. And the reason for that was to make it possible for the international community to respond much quicker and more efficiently than we did in the case of the recent Ebola outbreak. Just a few days ago, I was very pleased to receive a response from the UN Secretary General accepting our proposal and indicating that the UN was going to work with us to set up such a panel, and they hope that we would assist so that we can set up a better international crisis response system. I want to use the opportunity to thank Germany and all the other international partners for their participation in the international response, which has led to our successful fight against Ebola. Today, the news coming out of the three most affected countries is much more encouraging and pleasant. Liberia was almost there, and one case popped up, but that case has been dealt with. It hasn't spread beyond that case. And so we're counting the mandatory 42 days again to declare Liberia Ebola free. But the level of confidence that has come with it and the efficiency with which they are being able to deal with new cases now has led to the opening of borders. Recently, the border between Liberia and Sierra Leone was open, and so people are able to cross over between the two countries. Sierra Leone is also making progress. They did a recent lockdown to try and keep people from moving about so that they could mop up the few cases that were left. And I think that they are also scoring quite some good success in terms of the fight against Ebola. So all in all, we're hoping that in the next several months, we should be able to declare West Africa Ebola free.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to bring the best regards from Chancellor Merkel. Last week I talked about my visit here, and we are here, of course, Ebola, that is the most important issue here. Therefore, Mr. Gröhe, the health minister, and you know Mr. Lindner, he's a special commissioner of our foreign minister, Steinmeier, dealing with all questions of Ebola for the last 6 months.
Okay.
And in my position, we had a very interesting talk yesterday with your finance minister.
Yeah.
We talked about further cooperation, and I think it was very successful. We will strengthen and increase our support for your country.
It was interesting for us to see today, for example, in Kuala Lumpur or in the Noguchi laboratory, how your country itself was preparing the hospital or to have the capacity to deal with suspects. And lucky enough, it were only suspects, no infected persons here in Ghana, but that you prepared yourself also for dealing properly with those affected by contact tracing, by surveillance of the development of the infection. So I think it's impressive what you have done so far, but I think what's now on our agenda is in that period of transition where the fight is still not over, even if the today news about the last week and the new infections were encouraging, that in the last weeks or months of fighting the current outbreak, in that phase of transition, the next step, recovery, and lessons learned are
Yeah.
on our agenda.
That's right.
And I'm very happy that our development corporation decided to strengthen its focus on global health, especially for that region.